Hello, my name is Daniel Yuck. Thank you for watching today. I appreciate your time and support. In today's video, I want to talk about perfect tattoos and how I've never seen one. I will explain myself, so by the end of this video, you'll have a good understanding as to what I am referencing when I say I've never seen a perfect tattoo. Should you have any questions at any point throughout this video, I'm going to encourage you to drop a comment down below. I will do my absolute best to assist you in the best possible direction. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and ring my bell, as I will be bringing more videos like this for you all. I do also have social medias under the same name as my YouTube channel. I have Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok all under Daniel Yuck. I would appreciate the support over there as well. With that being said, let's get right on into this. Ideally, we would want our tattoos to come out as clean, crispy, saturated as they possibly can. However, there are multiple variables that we have to consider when it comes down to applying tattoos to human skin. A big variable that impacts the final readability of a tattoo is the design placement. For example, if we place a tattoo design in an area such as the elbow or a knee where there is a lot of creases and bending going on, that is going to impact the final read of a tattoo. You can see from this image right here that the design is sitting on top of an area on the skin that does have more textures and wrinkles to the skin, which is impacting the lines that we're looking at. It's very important to note that all of these lines look to be applied correctly. They have nice saturation, they are nice, clean, and consistent. However, the lines still have a sort of wobble, shaky look to them. This is why I decided to title this video, I've never seen a perfect tattoo, because we as the artist can apply a tattoo correctly. However, depending on where it's sitting is also going to help determine the final read of the design. What that means is if we apply the lines correctly to the best of our ability and the design is sitting somewhere like on a ditch or an elbow or a knee, then we're still going to be prone to some sort of fluctuation because of the natural way skin is. Here is another example of a tattoo that was done on an elbow, so you can see the natural creases and textures that the skin has in this elbow area, and when the lines are placed over it, even though the lines are nice, solid, clean, and consistent, those fluctuations within the skin, those natural crevices and creases on the skin are still going to impact the lines. Not only does the natural creases on the skin impact our lines, you're going to see that there's a scar right here, so we may have to deal with scars along the way that are also going to impact the final read of our tattoos. So you can see the line going over this scar, although it was applied correctly, cleanly, consistent, and saturated, there still appears to have a fluctuation going on. But that would not be, I would say, on the tattoo artist end. I would say that's more on the natural way that skin conducts itself. You're going to see on this next tattoo, it's also done on an elbow. Although this tattoo was technically applied correct, you can see that the lines are nice, clean, solid, consistent, and saturated, also true to the line weight. However, there still is minor fluctuations within the lines because of those natural creases, crevices on the skin. Another thing that I noticed about areas that tend to have more natural creases and more textures is that when we apply a tattoo to that area, it tends to also warp, which is another thing that we have to consider when applying a tattoo stencil. So not only do we have to get through textures and creases on the skin, we also have to manage the warping as well. Here is another tattoo that demonstrates what I am trying to say here in this video. So you can see here is another mandala that is on an elbow. This skin tends to have a bit more texture, so you can see that some of the lines, although they are applied technically correct, they read with sort of a wave to them. And this is exactly the point of this video. This is exactly what I mean when I say I've never seen a perfect tattoo. The goal is to kind of shed some awareness and raise awareness on the idea of expectations versus reality of certain tattoos. Here is another good example of a chest tattoo. Now, this tattoo right here is technically applied well. However, there are different crevices on the chest area, in the collarbone area. You get the idea. So it's not like a flat surface, nor is it really textured like elbows or knees. It has more curvature to it. I feel like this is the difference between expectations versus reality when it comes to tattoos. We have to understand as tattoo collectors, when we get tattoos, our body has crevices, curvatures going on, so therefore some of the lines are going to reflect where the placement is. So if we're expecting a straight line, say in the collarbone area, then the expectation has to be lowered a little bit to compensate for the curvature the collarbone offers. It's very important to note that when I say I've never seen a perfect tattoo, I'm still speaking from a standpoint where the tattoo is technically applied correct. There are instances where tattoos are not technically applied correctly. Allow me to show you one. When a tattoo is not technically applied correct, it's definitely going to stand out like a sore thumb, especially if we're one to read into details. A good way to tell if it's the nature of the skin or the tattoo artist is to look at the entire design overall and how it reads. You can see this design right here looks as though it's on an arm, which is a mild curvature surface with no creases and or textures. However, with this specific design, we should have reached a pretty accurate read with this specific design, as again, it's not on any heavy textured curvature surface, it's on an arm, but you can see from top to bottom there are missing lines that don't connect, the dot weights fluctuate, and the shading looks sketchy. So this tattoo is not imperfect because of the skin placement or the body placement, it is imperfect because of the technical application that was used to apply this tattoo. Allow me to show you some more examples of tattoos that are technically applied correct. This is dot work on top of a knee, and when we zoom in this close, you can see it's not by any means perfect. However, the read on the final tattoo is there. The read on the final tattoo is where it should be. You can see this area right here is heavily textured and creased, which is impacting the final read of the design. However, if we stick to that technical process being correct, we should still get a nice quality read at the end. Here is another design, and you can see this is a beautiful, technically correct applied design. However, there's still imperfections within this design right here where points don't connect. You get the idea. This goes back to I've never seen a perfect tattoo. We have to understand that we are human. We are prone to making mistakes. We have to understand that this is the very nature of tattoos. Tattoos are supposed to be as close as we can get them to perfect, but not ideally perfect. We have to remember that there is no such thing as perfect when it comes to tattoos because our skin itself isn't flawless. I'm definitely not saying go into your tattoos and not apply them to the best of your ability. Each and every tattoo, we should always be going above and beyond to apply them as technically sound as we can. What I am saying is to try to understand a little bit more on expectations versus reality when it comes to tattoos, so that way you can explain this to clients that do come your way. Here is another great example of a tattoo that is technically applied correct. However, it is on an elbow, so you can see that the placement distorts the design a bit. You can see that all the lines are connected. The line weight integrity is true throughout the entire design. There are multiple line weights, and it's done on an elbow, which is an area that's high in texture and creases. So this tattoo artist did a great job applying this tattoo. You can see on this example, here's another elbow tattoo, but this is a letter on an elbow with smooth shading and some bolder lines, and you can see this tattoo reads well. This tattoo is also executed correctly. You can see though that the placement of this A on the elbow does interfere with that line a little bit, making it look warped. However, it's still technically applied correct and it still reads wonderfully. Here is another great example of an elbow tattoo, and you can see all of the textures and the creases right here on the skin, and this one is shading dominant, not line dominant. However, that technical application was still correct. This still reads wonderfully. I love the way that this tattoo looks. I wouldn't say it's ideally perfect, again, because of the nature of the skin. There is creases, textures right there on the elbow. However, this is darn near close to perfect. Here is another design that is on an elbow, and you can see that the heart is perfect. It's almost identically symmetrical. However, because it is placed on an awkward spot on the elbow, the lines appear to have a warped look to them. This is another prime example of why I say I've never seen a perfect tattoo. I feel like it's important that I make this video to kind of raise awareness on expectations versus realities when it comes to tattoos in certain placements. Let me show you a design that's done on a more smooth, flatter part of the body, and you can see this design right here reads wonderfully. It is flawless. I don't see any imperfections with this design right here, and you can see that the placement directly contributes to the final read of the tattoo. This right here to me is the closest thing to a perfect tattoo. Although it isn't 110% perfect, it's still beautiful. Allow me to show you one more example of a beautiful tattoo applied on an elbow, and I want to show you the impact that it has on it. So you can see that this floral design right here is absolutely beautiful. The shading is nice, smooth, the lines are clean, solid, and consistent. However, that elbow, that natural aspect of our skin, the creases, the textures, they really show within our designs. You can see that the skin right here on this elbow area is visibly warping the line, which is kind of changing the final read of the design. However, we can clearly tell that it was technically applied correctly. Although this design may not be absolutely perfect, it is really close to perfect. That right there though is why I say I've never seen a perfect tattoo, just because the nature of our skin, we are not perfect either, so therefore that is going to reflect within our tattoos. I do hope that I can help you in a better direction, or at the very least raise some awareness on why certain imperfections happen within our tattoos. Should you have any questions at all, I encourage you to drop a comment down below. I will do my absolute best to assist you in the best possible direction. Please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and ring my bell, as I will be bringing more videos like this for you all. I do also have social medias under the same name as my YouTube channel. I have Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok, all under Daniel Yuck. I would appreciate the support over there as well. With that being said, I appreciate your time. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great day.